So you said that basically the patriarchy theory, that men built this country for other men. Now, I agree with you on the first part. Men did build this country. However, men didn't build it for the benefit of other men. They built it for their families, their wives, their sons, their daughters. So I agree with you that yes, this country and all countries, in fact, have been built on the backs of men, but it's not for the benefit of other men. In fact, they've actually done studies on this. Men have an out-group bias. So men have an out-group bias for women, whereas women have an in-group bias for other women. In other words, the sisterhood. There's a sisterhood amongst women. There's not a brotherhood amongst men, at least to the same degree that there's a sisterhood amongst women. Every single thing that you see around you, the buildings you live in, the streets you drive in, the infrastructure that you rely on to survive, was all built, created, and is maintained by good, honest, hardworking men that simply want to provide for their family. It's not men wanting to oppress women. It's just men that want to work and provide for their family.
Then why couldn't women vote?
Because men were subject to military conscription.
Because women didn't want to vote either at some point. Because if they voted, then that means they have to be drafted too. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the reason, by the way, throughout the vast majority of human history, men didn't have the vote either. There was a small percentage of men who had power. The rest of the men were also oppressed alongside all of the women that were oppressed. It was like, previously you had tyrants and kings and dictators. Men couldn't vote. This is voting came around in broadly speaking in the 1900s, the late 1800s, 1900s, and now obviously, in 1920 is when women got the right to vote. So this voting thing's very new. Democracy is very new. Most people never had the right to vote. The way men had the right to vote was because of warfare. Because men could be drafted and sent to fucking the Maginot Line in France and go in the trenches and get trench foot and get chemical gassed. And to this day, women were able to secure the vote without the corresponding responsibility. Women have a right without a responsibility. Men have a right with a responsibility. That responsibility is you have to die for your country.
Dex, you donated $50.
Thank you, man.
It's crazy when we don't go in her direction, or we put forward an argument. She closes. This is not a debate. She uses words that she doesn't know the definition. Female oppression.
Yo, Dex, dude, thank you for the $50 super chat.